Chapter 1. The End of School Days. I am John, a farmer of the village of Oran in Bihar, and I have a story to tell you. It is about some things that happened to me in my younger days. On the 29th November 1673, when I was 12 years old, John Fry, a worker from our family's farm, came to collect me from my school at Tower. He rode his horse up to the gate, leading my own little horse behind him. He was 2 weeks early, so I knew something was wrong. "What are you doing here, John?" I asked him. "It's not the holidays yet." He would not look at me. "Oh, I know that," young master read, "but your mother has saved the best apples and cooked some wonderful cakes, all for you." "And father? How is father?" I said. It was usually father who came to collect me, and it was strange that John Fry had not said anything about him. "Oh, he is very busy on the farm just now," he said. But John was not his usual self, and I knew that was a lie. When I had packed my bags and said goodbye to my friends, I got my horse and we started the journey home. It was a long journey from Tyre to Ore, and in places the road was very bad. John Fry still would not tell me why he had come to collect me or answer my questions about father. He looked unhappy about something, but I tried to hope for the best, as boys always do. On the hill at the end of Kartal town, we saw a big coach with 6 horses. In the front seat of the coach sat a foreign looking woman, and next to her was a little dark haired girl. I could see from the girl's soft skin that she was from a rich family, and I felt too shy to look at her more than once. She didn't look at me at all. Opposite them sat a very beautiful lady in fashionable clothes, and next to her was a little boy who was about 2 or 3 years old. The woman in the front, I thought, must be the servant of the family. I always remembered the family afterwards, because I had never seen people who were so grand and so rich. After Kartal, the road got worse and worse, and soon we came into a very dangerous part of the country. This was Exmoor, a place of high wild hills and deep valleys, and on Exmoor lived a family of robbers called the Doones. Everyone was afraid of them. They had robbed and murdered on Exmoor for many years, and had grown very strong. Now it was getting dark and a fog was coming down. It was just the kind of night when the Doones would be out, and we were coming near to the path that they always used. I wanted to ride fast and cross the Doone path as quickly as possible. But John Fry knew better. Go slowly and quietly, he said, if you want to see your home again. But when we came to the valley where the Doone path was, we heard the sound of horses. Hide, said John, and we rode our horses off the path and hid. But I wanted to look at the Doones and went up onto a hill above the path. From there, I saw a frightening sight. Below me, moving quietly, were thirsty horsemen. They were heavy, strong men like all the Doones, and they were dressed for battle, carrying guns. Tied to their horses were all the things they had stolen. Some had sheep or other animals, but one man had a child across his horse, a little girl. She had on a very expensive dress, and I thought it was probably for this that the Doones had stolen her. I could not see whether she was alive or dead, but the sight of that child made me sad and angry. When we got home to the farm, my father did not come out to meet us, not even when the dogs ran up and made a lot of noise. Perhaps he has visitors, I thought, and it is too busy to come out. But really, I knew that was not true. I went away and hid. I did not want anyone to tell me anything. I heard my mother and sister crying when they come out to find me, but I could not look at them. Later they told me everything. My father had been killed. He had been murdered by the Dons. It happened on his way back from the market at Porlock on a Saturday evening. He was riding with 6 other farmers, and the Dons stopped them and asked them from their money over at once. But my father was brave. He rode at them, waving his long stick above his head. He managed to hit quite a few heads, but one Doone was waiting at the side of the road with a gun and shot him. Although we knew it was the Doones who had killed my father, it was useless even to ask the local judge or law officers to do anything about it. They were afraid of the robbers too, or were even helping them. The Doones did almost anything they wanted on Exmoor. They were not local people. They came from the north of England, where their leader, Sir Ensor Doone, had been a rich man with a lot of lands. But the urged with his cousin, the Earl of Lorne, who had even more land. And because of the trouble he caused, the king took away nearly everything that Sir Ensor owned. A proud, angry man, Sir Ensor refused to make peace with his cousin, and without his land and farms, he became very poor. Then he found that people who had once been happy to know him now turned away from him. After this, Sir Ensor lived his life outside the law, with his wife and family and a few servants. He looked all over the country from a palace to live, where no one would know him and he could start again. He chose Exmoor, where few people live, and found the perfect place to build a new home. This was the place we now call Doone Valley. It is a green valley far from any town, surrounded by steep, rocky mountains. At first, Sir Ensor lived peacefully, and the local people were friendly, even bringing him presents of food. But as his son grew older, they did not want to work as farmers, and they began to take whatever they needed from the local farms and villages. They carried off farmers' daughters to be their wives and give them sons. And so over the years the Doone's family became bigger and bigger.